Tom from Flash Gits. Welcome to the Cream Crew podcast. Here are my co-hosts.
Yeah, I'm not fucking doing this shit. Tom, your go mode is very depressing. It's like watching, he's like, I'm in a go mode. It's nothing but green lights and green flags. And I just see, I see a man crying eternally.
You guys need to introduce yourselves.
All right, I'm Don. I am Don from Flash Gits. That's Tom from Flash Gits, and that's Hunter from Me Canyon. And we are coming off the back of last week's Halloween episode.
You alphaed that. You were just like, I'm taking control, and I'm going to introduce.
Well, I gotta retake control because I left for 2 weeks, and I don't know.
How was the retreat, dude? How you feeling?
So these two married men with their frigid wives sat down and talked about all the pussy I eat. And
Silly games.
And really, when I listened to it, it just kind of made me sad.
No, don't say that.
I wanted to convey that to you guys. Not for myself, but for the state it implies that both of you are in your married situation.
You're like, you guys must be jealous, right? I'm eating so much pussy.
That's what I'm thinking.
You're basically married too, Don, yeah? Practically.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess. You better answer right if your girl's listening.
I don't know if we should have a whole episode referencing a whole other episode.
We could.
Well,
this is the
what
self-reflection
else are we gonna talk about? We sat down for like half an hour and tried to purge all the shop talk this time. So we now have literally nothing left to catch each other up on with shop talk. So where does that leave us?
Well, we can always fall back on the trusty fucking house ordinance conversation that we were having last night.
So, at our undisclosed location in Central
Utah.
Texas, Hunter and Tom have decided it's a good idea to forsake zoning laws and turn our current house.
It's already funny.
Turn our current house into our shared studio instead of renting an actual corporate space because it would save money.
And it would be it's better. More privacy. Continue.
Oh, I agree with the perks. I don't yet agree with the risk that is being assessed.
You lay out what you think will happen.
Yeah.
I think that we are surrounded by neighbors that want to talk to us every time we leave the house.
Right.
And they're going to see moving trucks coming and going. They're going to see 3 cars pull up to this house and 3 cars leave this house every single day. And they're going to ask, what happened to my girlfriend specifically, who has made friends with all of them? Why don't we ever see her anymore?
Right.
And let me get this clear first. So you don't want to be forthcoming with the neighbors. You want to.
We can. I really don't think it makes a fucking difference, honestly.
I feel like you could tell every neighbor that we're running an animation studio out of the house and they wouldn't give a fuck.
Every single one, they'll be like, oh, okay, cool.
You could go to the town over and be like, hey, we have an animation house inside of a suburban neighborhood.
Put up a giant fucking billboard on the road with an arrow pointing our house. I think animation studio.
I think the biggest problem, and I think that did you see that Silicon Valley episode? Is that what you said that made you think of this?
Yeah, I did. Hunter.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
Okay, so
and then I looked up all the laws and I sent you guys the relevant fines that we will incur.
The biggest reason why they get caught in that movie is because there's cars everywhere. There's like 7 or 8 cars all over the place, and they're also being loud and disruptive, and it makes the neighbor pissed. So then he calls the cops. If we were formal with all the neighbors, why would they care?
How are they being loud and destructive in Silicon Valley?
I think that taking this drama show as our fucking this comedy drama show as our example of what not to do or what to do is fucking stupid.
Here's the deal. Our neighbor.
They had the graffiti of T.J. Miller getting fucked by the Statue of Liberty, or getting fucked by a Native American man, I'm pretty sure, and it was like spray painted on their garage. And then also Richard bought Adderall from kids in the neighborhood, and like TJ Miller physically assaulted some of them, and it was like an accumulation of shit. And then they had like 8 or 9 cars out there, and they like broke windows and shit. It was like a big public spectacle.
And he just buried you, man, on that comedy show example.
Isn't like Ken, I forget his last name, that little Asian guy that's in The Hangover. Wasn't he like the neighbor? And it was just like a shitty Chinese neighbor joke.
No, it was it's not a Chinese neighbor guy. It's like a regular guy. He's like in a wheelchair. And he's just like comes over in his wheelchair, and he has to like, there's so many cars he can't go through the driveway, and like they see him coming, And they're like, we'll come to you. And he like goes all the way around in his wheelchair and like comes up. And he's like, I'm calling the zoning permit. And he like backs up and like goes all the way back around again. But then even with that guy, they don't have it happen because the guy was harvesting illegal animals in his backyard, ferrets or whatever in California, which was apparently illegal to have.
That's how they ace and all, and that's how it's all solved.
Well, can I prosecute the case a bit?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think those zoning laws are intended to do?
Of course, they're not intended to prevent this, but that doesn't matter. My concern is we have a neighbor that my girlfriend was speaking at length with, having a nice, friendly conversation. And then she asked my girlfriend, well, where's your ring? And then she said, oh, I don't have a ring. Like, I'm not married. And this neighbor completely shut down.
Don, were you there for this?
No, I heard
So
it.
is it possible?
I am certain that this is what happened.
Is it possible your girlfriend is maybe paranoid?
No, I don't believe that's what
I believe she's paranoid.
Are you trying to say that she...
I'm character assassinating.
She fabricated
I'm not saying she fabricated anything. I'm saying that there has been more than one occasion.
And where is my ring, Don? Where is it?
No, not like
That's
that.
what I asked her.
Can you imagine? I'm more saying that she has a propensity perhaps to think that people like neighbors or other people are sometimes like against her when maybe they're not. I've been there on occasions where like after we've gone in, she's been like, did you hear that or see that? And I've been like, what? It seemed normal to me.
My wife does that
Kinda
too.
deal.
My wife does this shit all the time. I saw the neighbor and I waved to him and he didn't wave back. I don't know what the fuck his problem is. I'm like, well, he probably just didn't want to wave.
Well, that's the
I'm no
other thing.
chemist or anything, but
Our next door neighbors, the people on the other side of the house, their wife, who you claim, yeah, she's like fine. There's nothing wrong with her. Their kids came back from like a little bike trip yesterday, and I was in the yard setting up my Halloween stuff, and I just said, hey, how's it going? And she went, hello, you know, like you say to, that's like how my mom used to say hi to my dad after they got divorced, you know, hello.
There's a lot of inference going on right now.
So loaded.
You're just
so
like,
much disdain.
hey, this is just like when my mom and dad got divorced.
Are
this
you
is
divorced?
the exact same way, and that is my fucking proof. It's like, you're inferring a lot from one word.
Every time she says hi.
You should have yelled back to her, are you divorced? Are you divorced?
Well, she's not. She's not because her husband is nice.
She could be remarried.
I said hello to her, and she said hi nicely to me. Dude, and then I made a joke about it being America Day, and she laughed.
You're either autistic or you don't understand the American accent. But you've had like a false read of people several times.
Maybe you've had a false read of people several times.
I disagree.
Because everyone I've talked to in this neighborhood
was exactly the same as my mom's disdainful,
this is like
sorrowful.
This is like some Freudian shit right here for real. This is like
this is emotional intelligence, which Tom does not have.
Well, I can tell you, I've met a lot of shitty people in my day, and I've met all sorts of people, and it's very, very rare for me to be like, that's exactly how mommy talks.
You know what, Hunter?
After mommy's midnight...
You're a man with divorced parents. I tried to appeal to our shared experience to make
that's
you
why you should believe me when I said
that.
that. It is odd. If I was like, that's what mommy sounds like after she gets her midnight visitors.
Like, here's the deal. Let me present my case, right? We know these neighbors.
Yeah.
We are quiet. You put up the most fucking phenomenal, complicated, intricate Halloween decorations of all time, which they were all very impressed by.
Yeah, did you get many compliments?
With them.
Did you get many compliments?
People came over and like chatted to them because their Halloween shit was so good.
See, I like that kind of community.
And do you think that these people are gonna like round on us the moment that someone else like comes into the picture? When it's like, why would they take that chance? Do you know what neighbors like? They like quiet people, which we are.
Yes, I do.
They like polite and courteous people, which we are. So why would they roll the dice on some new people? Why would you fuck these guys? I'm telling the cops on them. Like, why?
I also think that we're looking at it as if like people are this vindictive or they give a shit about people's. Like it was kind of like that conversation we were having about abuse, where it's like something can be so blatantly in front of you, but you don't even notice it. Type deal. Like if a woman comes in with bruises and you're just like, fuck, what happened? And then, she's like, I fell down some stairs. And you're like, well, shit, you got to watch out. I've slept down some stairs in my day, because you want to be more relatable than anything instead of being like, what happened to you? Type deal. You know what I mean? I think that people, I I just don't even think people would even notice, especially if we're polite. And I think the biggest thing is just making sure people aren't like we're not being loud or something. Like if you're doing Raid Shadow Legends ads, which even today I'm sure you guys don't do it, or you will by 9:30 you guys are asleep anyway, so it's like whatever. But if it's like 2 a.m. and we're like blasting music or whatever, then yeah, of course we're being disruptive. And if anything, you just don't want to get in trouble that way. But no, I think that if we'll just be ghost on the wall. And also just don't carry in like if we're not talking to anybody, we shouldn't carry in like any bloody bags or anything like that, or many suspicions of like every time I've seen them, they've come out with large leather bags dripping red. I don't know what that's about.
What what would happen if someone did do the zoning laws? Like, what's the fallout here?
We would be fined.
How much?
And we would have to leave. I don't know, a lot.
Isn't it like per day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does I don't know how that works out yet.
So I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
not going to be
if
10
it's-
grand a day, is it?
I think it's also
I don't know if it's like per day after you were found out, like that you continue to operate, or how long they deduce you have been operating like
How would
that.
they even fucking find out?
Dude,
And like
Well-
let's say they call the ordnance people.
Okay, here's my position.
Yeah.
Okay.
I firmly believe that the woman next door does not like us for whatever reason.
Okay.
Mm.
I believe that the woman across the street is okay, but she's a busybody with very stern ideas of how a neighborhood should be
Mm.
and how, traditional it should be. And I think between the two of them, you are banking on two weak links to not ever do anything about it if they want to just like fuck shit up, if they're going to be a bitch. Because all it's going to take is a letter. Like they send a letter and then they come investigate. And then what did you guys say? We have like one guest room between the three of us. And then we try, he sleeps on the couch. That's how we do things. And we both broke up with our girlfriend and wife and they're gone forever, except for when they come by sometimes.
God, what could they like? Yeah, just fucking put a bed in the house, and then the zoning person comes in and goes, "Well, people are sleeping here. Maybe we do sleep all in the same bed." Like, who's gonna say we don't?
If you're that you're that obsessed with it too, you could try to mend your relationship with that crazy bitch next door, and maybe make her some cookies and be like, "Hey, we made some extra cookies. I thought I would just drop it off." That's some Midwestern hospitality right there. And she's like, "No, I'm good." And you just be like, "All right. Well, you know what? Just thinking of you. Boom, bam, bazing, easy peasy, lemon squeezy."
Our kids don't even like us, I don't think.
Now there's a conspiracy involving the children.
Yeah,
What have the children done?
Think of
well,
the
she's
Did they knock over your Halloween
she's
shit?
over there poisoning their mind. Is what's happening.
What did someone
Don't
give you the
trust
impression, or your
them.
girlfriend the impression that the
Those-
children?
That's
hate you?
422.
They wouldn't
Cherokee
take our
Drive.
candy.
What happened?
They wouldn't take our candy.
What does that mean?
They came back from trick or treating the other night, and we were
Did you try to lure
anticipating-
children with candy, Don? Are you telling me? Did
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So we
okay.
bought a whole lot of candy because we anticipated a lot of kids, but COVID, even in Texas, like shrunk the crowds, and we did not get many kids. So they came back from trick or treating, and we had this giant box of candy. And I guess Lexi, my girlfriend, knows her name, so she called to the daughter like, "Hey, do you want some more candy?" And she said, "No, I'm good." What kind of 12-year-old girl says, "No, I'm good" to more candy on Halloween night? But yeah, I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Maybe her mum says that
I don't think that
you've had
checks
enough.
out, Don. I think they're
you've had enough. You've been
normal.
around the whole neighborhood.
here's
It's time.
the
No,
It's over.
here's the hard-hitting
yeah, she
question.
can't walk 6 feet.
Here's the hard hitting question.
And then she proceeded
Was she a
to
fat girl
play
or a
on the
skinny
swing
girl?
set. Skinny girl.
Oh, okay, well,
But
then
so is her
TikTok,
brother.
Boom.
And
She
both
wants
of
to
her
be-
both of her
yeah, they're-
parents
they're
are
TikTok.
overweight.
It's a fuck boy and a ethot, whatever. It's like they're trying to keep their figure.
Both of her parents doesn't
If it was
check
the-
out.
if
Both
it was
of
the
her
little
parents are
oinker.
overweight.
Well,
Her
okay, hold on.
metabolism hasn't caught up with her.
Hold
It's
on,
gonna
Don,
happen.
hold on. Did this little girl go to any other house in the neighborhood looking for candy?
Yes.
So she went
Oh,
everywhere.
you mean in this
yeah,
cul-de-sac?
everywhere except our place. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that would have been a lot more effort.
So she didn't go to anyone's house in the whole
She is
cul-de-sac.
6 feet from us to take candy.
You
from
have
us.
to realize
But
that-
don't you think if she was still after candy, she would have visited the other places?
And your girlfriend also yelled out, "Do you want some candy?" to her.
You're right. And she heard the alarm bells went off. She's like, I know it's Halloween, but she said, "Do you want candy?" And that's what Mom said.
No. What I'm saying though is like if you're already going home and some older person, if you're 12, you guys are fucking prehistoric in their eyes, right? He's like, "You want some candy?" Be like, "No, I'm good." I'm like, the fuck? I'm gonna do it my own way. Why don't you leave it at the door in a bowl? type deal.
She played on her playset for like half an hour, and it really fucked with the tone we were trying to set by our decorations.
That fucking bitch
That fucking
playing
bitch.
on her fucking playset whilst you're trying to run
she
Halloween.
was swinging into the amber light that I had set up.
She was
And
swinging
just-
in
yeah,
an
just
intimidating manner.
destroying the Halloween catharsis I worked so
Dude,
hard
you're
to
making
build.
yourself sound like a fucking psychopath. You're the crazy neighbor. You're like, these people don't like us.
I was sitting there glaring at her.
Dude, I don't want to
This
be your
is-
neighbor right now.
Man, that chain creak is really not the right kind of chain creak for Halloween. It sounds gleeful and not scary, and I'm upset about it. Stop
Yeah, can
playing on
we
your
go
swing.
to the house? Hey, Mom, I don't mind going trick or treating, but can we skip the house with the 7-foot tall lumberjack and the girl that works at the morgue? Thanks. They were yelling at us about the tone of their yard. Stop swinging. Yeah.
It's upsetting, man. We tried really hard to create, this
I'm sure.
thing,
I'm
this
sure
amazing
it was,
thing.
I'm sure
We
it
tried to
looked
create
great.
this little microcosm of
And I'm sure it
horror.
was. I'm sure
And
it
across
was. Yeah.
across the street, he's like playing Creedence Clearwater Revival, like
Some CCR. Bernie.
yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Nothing more horrifying than Nam, boys.
Yeah, it's true. What if there was a guy who recreated like a whole Vietnam battle? Actually, that'd be kind of cool. A Halloween like Civil War reenactment or something on Halloween. That'd be kind of cool, and everybody's dressed as like zombies, and it turns into like a capture the flag type thing. I'm gonna set that up. Somewhere.
Capture the flag?
What are you
What?
talking about?
You
Yeah,
start.
I was almost with you.
You start with a Civil War reenactment. Then the people that died, they get up, and the viewers are wearing flags. And then it's like a. Have you ever done one of those? It's like a zombie run, and then you run through. You try to get through the whole thing without the flag. Yeah,
Oh, that sounds cool though.
yeah. It's like a
Yeah,
zombie
I've heard
thing
of
where you
those.
have to. It's like a course that you run, and it's like you have to survive the whole thing with like at least one of your flags left. And you start with it's like a.
It's like
2 flags.
It's like that Spartan Run thing, but with zombies. And
Yeah.
they dress up in like really great makeup and stuff.
So it
Shane
feels like being
Chase
chased
here.
by zombies.
Yeah. And I was like, if you
America, man.
transition a Civil War reenactment into them like getting up and being like, oh, that would be awesome. Then you're like, oh fuck.
I feel like
Especially-
this is a lot to ask.
Nah, man.
You're gonna be that fucking annoying busybody going around the neighborhood like, we're doing a Civil War reenactment.
In our 40 by 20 foot front yard.
Yeah,
That would be
the
awesome.
cannons are coming on Monday. It's just like,
Okay, fine. You know what I would do? I would say if you come in this cul-de-sac, I'm like, everybody's yard is fair game. Even if they're like, you don't come in my yard, I'm like, we're gonna be there. Like your bushes will be covered in zombies. Like we're gonna be everywhere. I already have four like 40 actors that are all lined up, and we got them in makeup. We're doing it, type deal. And it's like, if you come out and try to stop us, we will resort to violence.
And this is why I think that having a residential studio is doomed to fail.
Well, I don't know, man.
With
I think I really think that also it's like if they came in to investigate, they'd be like, okay, so there's 3 computers in the house and some lights, so they're streamers.
book
My
'em.
kid likes playing Overwatch and streaming, and pretty sure he's gay, so might as well let these homos do their thing in this house. Like, thank you, officer, and like he leaves.
Thank you, officer.
That's where you went with it. That's your
that
imaginary
was-
scenario.
You
Like,
sound-
it's just a bunch of queers. Leave them at it.
You're sounding like us. Yeah,
It's just a
rolled
bunch.
out
It's
the-
just
the
a
homo
bunch of
card.
gay League of Legends players in this house.
Case closed.
Case
Get out of
closed.
here, Clark.
No-
Yeah, I don't know, Hunter. It's a pretty maybe not quite accurate as to what would happen.
No, well,
Not to side with Don too much, but yeah.
I really think that
retarded.
if you came in though, the moral of what I was saying though is like you would like we don't have stacks of merch or anything. It would just like literally be computers and just be like, oh, there's a tablet here and some computers. And then at the same time too, if somebody asked, even if my neighbors now asked me, where's your wife at? I'd say, whose business is your like what? Like why the fuck do you have to know? Like why don't you fuck off, bro? Hey, where's your dad? Is he dead? How's his grave doing? You like it when I pry on you? You like that? Hey, how'd your first marriage end? How'd you like that? You want to get into that?
Just tell him that we couldn't keep the girls together anymore. There's too many sparks. You know, we had to separate them out, but we're still tied into the lease.
Mhm.
What can you do? So we brought in a third roommate to split the costs.
We just
Also,
sharing a bed.
it's just it's so like, that would be so inappropriate for someone to even come up to you and be like, "Where are the girls at?" You'd be like, "Why would you even ask that?"
No, because they are the only ones that me and Tom are fucking shut-ins.
Yeah, so then if
the girls,
so if they're not
specifically
there,
my girlfriend is the only one that's formed relationships with these people.
Yeah,
so
if
it would
if-
ask
Wrong,
me, hey,
okay, I'm
hey,
a
haven't
fucking
seen-
celebrity on this street.
I haven't
Don.
seen Lexi for a while.
if
You know,
if you
They'll be
get,
like, but is that funny British guy still there? I'd be like, yeah, and they'll be like, all right, we'll have fun.
Right, yeah.
I just don't understand. Like, there's no legal motive to be like we broke up, or just be like, I mean, I don't have to tell you anything.
You know, I alluded to this last night, but what I think's going on here is trying to convince you to come down here, Hunter, because we really want you to come down here so that we have any friends in proximity.
I think I was talking to
You have
Justin about
asked.
this.
You have asked. You have asked.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to come down because you guys are a couple babies and you're not going to go drinking with me. And
That's
I
true.
said, yeah, I'll go drink with you. I'll go to bars with you. And then Tom's like, I'll also go drinking with you.
Santa, please let me suck your cock.
As long as
Please bring it.
as long as it's before
Can I
bedtime.
do a line off of your cock, Hunter, please?
Just it
I'm
has to
cool
be
too,
sufficiently
Hunter.
before bedtime so it doesn't suppress my bedtime.
My
and
macho
sleep.
energy, that's right, thank you.
But I do have macho energy.
I need my testosterone to be at peak levels when I work out in the morning.
That was a core column of Tom's existence was I need to preserve my sleep. My bedtime is 11 p.m.
Right.
If you
8
fucking
p.m.
Right.
creak the floorboards, I will text you in the group chat. I have awoken. What are you doing?
Like a base dreadnought.
Uh-huh.
Or
So stupid.
But now it's like, oh, but I really want Hunter to like me, so I will drink with you, Hunter. It just has to be
I don't want him to like me. I want him to
5
love
hours, at least
Don't
5
cheapen my
hours before my
feelings.
bedtime, which is 11 p.m. It has to be 5 hours before.
Actually,
because
it
actually
has
it has to be
11 a.m.
it has to be
'cause it takes
12
8 hours for the alcohol to leave your system.
8 hours
Don, if
before
you're
my
gonna
bedtime.
persecute me, you need to get your facts right.
Okay, so for 8 hours. And now this has so your personality, your core values are already corroding to
Yeah.
I
take
feel
in Hunter as your friend
Let me tell you
to
this.
make this work. And I think that
Don, you
this
sound
is
very
what it is.
jealous right now.
I think that's what it is. I think that the values are continuing to corrode, and you're
Are you trying to
massively-
equip me with
no, I'm not.
breaking
No,
the
Hunter, I'm
law?
not.
Like,
Hunter, we're not
no,
talking
Hunter, I
to you.
wouldn't say a
We're
bad
not
word
talking
about
about
you.
you
No,
right
no,
now.
no.
We're
This
not
is about
talking about
Tom.
you right now. This is about Tom. So the other
Jeez, why don't you kiss
the
him?
other pillar
I hope he
of
does.
Tom's personality, being completely risk adverse to everything, is similarly to the drinking thing, corroding for the sake of courting you, Hunter, to come to Austin. That's what's happening.
I think you two have only talked to each other. You've had some outside resources. I think that if I was introduced to you all, you know what would happen? I think that tight grip around your balls would loosen up a little bit, and you guys would live just a little more. Just a little more. I think this is what me and Justin were talking about last night. Justin, this is for you. If you had a third party introduced, that I think that it would make you both way happier to have a little new freedom. You need somebody like me.
Oh, I completely agree. And
So why are you putting roadblocks up,
Tom
baby?
is making himself agree.
So the dynamic is that you agree that are
Yes.
putting up all these fucking roadblocks.
Well, I agree.
But I don't agree, but I'm like, yes, come along.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Bruh, Flash gets be funny as fuck, no cap.
I don't like how you're affecting an African American voice as you say these
It's
things,
hip.
Hunter.
It's
kinda
hip.
Weird.
Also, it's not an African American voice. I'm just saying bruh and other kinds of youthful
Urban terms, as Hunter puts them frequently.
I always thought that was really funny. I worked at this DVD and like comic shop type thing. We had an urban section, and I'm like, is it still cool to say urban? Is that like really a thing? I'm like, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like urban. It's urban movies. I'm like, they're just movies though. It's not like there's like anything different about them.
What was in the urban movie section in Missouri?
Like Get
where
Rich
you
or
worked?
Die Trying, like all sorts of just like
right,
just black
yeah.
movies. That's all it was. And I was like,
I don't know if it's racist. I think it's just a counterpart to country. Is it not?
Yeah, all those movies.
Is that not a geographic-
They take place in this city.
Yeah, right? They take place in the concrete jungle.
all right, old men, let's easy down. I'm just saying that you're like old racist white men. Well, what are we wrong? Are they not black and they're not from the hood?
I'm just saying, if country is okay, why is urban not okay?
But Tom, there isn't a country movie section in the movies.
We're talking about music.
Here's
Give me a second to think up an equivalent
he
for
said
the
he
films.
said the comic store or whatever. So you're saying there should also be like, well, this is all the movies that take place in the country.
Are you saying there's an urban section in the comic book store?
Yeah, it was like I was like, I don't really know how applicable this is. Like, I mean, like these are just books and movies. Like, they should be like with the rest of the books.
They were segregated.
Exactly. I was like, what the fuck? They're like, oh, it just makes it easier for people to find. I'm like, don't
Were
find
they,
it.
in the corner of the store where the light's a little dimmer. Doesn't
Well,
work
were
as
they at
good.
least 3/5 the price?
Oh. But I remember the like my manager of my store was like, oh, well, it just makes it easier to find them. Like, the whole store's alphabetized. Like, they're gonna find it. Like, it's not gonna be hidden. Like, it'll be there.
Over here is the stuff that you people like. Over here.
Yeah.
What- well, tell me,
here. Sir,
Where was this?
The guy like walks in. Sir. Right there. That's yours. That's yours
No,
right there.
no, you
No,
only
go to that wall.
find
You don't want that wall.
You
don't
only
want that wall.
find Captain America over there. That's not.
Yeah,
why
you
you're
won't
here.
want Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. Blade and the other blacks are on this
Blade and
shelf
Black
right here.
Panther,
Yeah.
right to your left, sir. Wakanda forever.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, Wakanda forever. Don't hit me. The guy's like, yeah.
Where
no,
was
I'm
this?
just-
Was this in Missouri?
Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
everything is explained.
Yeah. I think it's like some things where it's just it's like it's just the ignorance of not knowing.
We tell Hunter about our meeting down in Washington D.C. with our peers.
Oh, you roll out the story. Well, this is a safe medium to regale this story because there's a degree of separation from our main channel, and hopefully that means our is not.
I think that we
canceled
should
as a
hide the
result.
name
Okay, well,
Flopcom Industries.
all right, Flopcom, who is a part of a piece of our revenue.
Mm.
All right, Flopcom is a company that we have enjoyed a degree of success that most people have yet to enjoy, or so we thought. And because of that degree of success, we received an email from a member of Flopcom that said, hey, you guys are doing really well. We're having a flop meetup in DC. We're only inviting people that have done pretty well. It's like,
Very exclusive.
yeah,
How
they
many,
basically
how many
created.
years, how many years ago was this from the Flopcom thing?
Couple
it was,
years.
It's been a couple years now, but they conveyed the perception that it was a prestigious gathering of successful flop people that had gone a certain distance with Flopcom. So we're like, hey, we should, all these people are
We've
nearby.
got a network.
We got a network. They're doing well. That means they know how to do things and are good at things, and we
at
should
this-
know them because they'll be our neighbors, and we can make videos with them or something. That was our thinking.
At this time, how many shares in Flopcom did you have?
Probably like, I don't know, 1,500 to 2,000 shares.
15 to 2,000 shares.
Oh wow, I didn't know you had that many Flopcom shares at a time.
The conception we went into it with was we have received an invite to this special thing, this special Flopcom thing, because we've enjoyed a degree of success, and we're going to try to meet other people that are also successful at Flopcom and talk to them and try to make content. And Flopcom, by this point, has established itself as very hostile towards people that tell less palatable jokes, such as
Right.
ourselves.
Okay.
And we have not made it known to the Flopcom powers that be that is the kind of Flopcom account we are running.
Mm.
So we are now swimming, as it were, with sharks, as it were, because if any of them found out who we were and how much money we were making from Flopcom, they would be liable to walk 10 feet and talk to the nice Flopcom lady and say, hey, those guys like racist jokes, they're Nazis. Delete their Flopcom.
So even after those concerns arose of being like, oh shit, like we're gonna get figured out and our stocks in Flopcom are gonna get taken from us, you guys still tried to go around and like try to
Well,
collab with people?
here's the deal. I remember, like, well, you know, okay, so people here aren't necessarily like mega successful in Flopcom world, but there could still be some interesting like things to gain from it. So I immediately went
content.
to this like, not content, just like network, just talk to people, see what they're doing on YouTube, whatever. But I went there and I started talking to this girl, and this other dude joined, and they, I was like, oh, so what do you guys do? And she's like, I'm a social marketer for some YouTube thing, whatever. I was like, oh, that's cool. And the guy was like, I'm like a fucking vegan warrior. Literally, I think the words he used. I'm a like radical vegan warrior. Gayest thing I've ever heard in my life. But anyway, through the course of the conversation, I kind of forgot myself, and I started dropping words that maybe aren't kosher in that environment. So I was like, oh, wow, you're doing what with social media? Dude, I wish I could do that, but I'm fucking retarded. And they both immediately stop.
Yeah.
And she goes, no. She goes, we don't like that word
We
or
don't
whatever.
like that
And I
word.
was-
We don't say that word.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, don't watch our content then, because you're really gonna hate it.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And then she goes like, well, I think there's a difference between real life and like a comedy cartoon. And I was like, fair enough. She's actually, at least she's like making that delineation. But then she said like, I don't think it's very funny, which obviously triggered me as maybe the funniest man alive. I got very offended, and I was like, well, I found it funny when I said retard 3 seconds ago. And she immediately turned to the radical vegan warrior and was like, I think we can all agree here that it is not an acceptable thing to say retard. And the guy was just like, oh, well, I don't know.
he kind of
Kept stirring his drink, did not want any fucking pieces.
Was not taking a side.
Yeah, he was not taking a side at all.
Right.
That to me was when I, in my recollection, went to the waitress to ask where the toilet was so I could hide
and regroup
and like hide in the toilet. And then Don hid in the toilet next to me, and we were we were in toilets directly next to each other.
Why didn't you guys just leave? Why did I understand?
Well, we obviously can't handle ourselves in social situations, Hunter, as this podcast has demonstrated numerous times. So we fucking panicked, our wires are getting crossed, we hide in the toilets to regroup, we're texting each other, boy, we're in the kind of place where if we say or do the wrong thing, we're gonna get in serious shit. But if we leave too early, they're gonna get suspicious. It doesn't have to make sense, Hunter, that's what we thought at the time.
Right.
Well,
I'm surprised that you
have
did.
just
I mean, like,
you
Okay,
have
go
just outed us to like what's her face and vegan warrior man. Yeah, I'm trying to like post rationalize this and make it make sense because it made a lot of sense at the time why we stayed for.
Doesn't it always doesn't it always make perfect sense?
So
I
so
can
you
see-
had
I
that
can see
exchange
it.
before I went in, and then I saw you go to the waiter and then go upstairs, and then I was getting a free drink while you had that exchange, and I was waiting, and then I saw you do that, and then I also wanted to go to the bathroom, and then I went, and then the rest is history. But we both retreat upstairs. We're both in separate bath. It wasn't like two stalls next to each other. There were like two separate rooms that we were both hiding in.
Yeah, we both had our own bunker. and then we
immediately start texting each other.
It was yeah. But anyway, we decided to stick around, and as we came out the toilet, they like called a meeting of like all the people there who are Flopcom people, and like all of the people that are invited would sit in this like crowd. And the two ladies from Flopcom would give like a presentation about the platform and whatnot. And they did this stupid shit. And 5 millionth red flag, after every point where there should have been an applause break, there was nothing but this.
Oh.
And you
Everyone
started clapping.
I was at this point. I was in just full on like this is so fucking stupid mode, and like the clicks died down, and I just went. And then looked around at everyone.
Were you trying to start a round of applause? And I thought you weren't aware of the clicks. And it was just another faux pas.
I heard the fucking clicks. I just thought it'd be funny to start clapping. Anyway, long story short, the fucking ladies at the front were like, what are you guys here to do? To the crowd, they wanted answers. Some people was like, I want to act. And then these two, like, hugely overweight dudes.
Both of them have better beards than either me or Tom.
Wearing, like those, you get like a...
Daisy Dukes.
Like Daisy Duke tied up shirts.
And
they
hot
had, like,
pants.
denim hot pants on. And they basically, she was like, so what are you guys here to do? And they like raise their hands, like pupil, you know, like pick me, fucking pick me. She's like, oh yeah, what do you guys do? And then, we're here to destroy the cis white patriarchy, yes! And they started fucking clicking. No word of a lie. Yeah, long story short.
But they started a click storm. You
This
did
is a
not start
great-
clap storm.
Hearing you guys talk about stories is a great example of men who experience parts of the world that maybe they're not fond of, or like personal experiences with others in very inappropriate times. Like I think that you know, these things wouldn't be as cringy, or you'd be like, you know, whatever, if like you had like, you know, you were at a bar or something, or you had like a person, like a friend of a friend, and they came and you talked to them, like, oh, whatever, yeah, we fucked up and we said some shit. But at the end of the day, we, you know, met them, and then the next time we went to this Flomcom thing, it wasn't as awkward because we had this experience. It feels like you guys have all these first experiences with these people and these experiences in very public and like very like large settings. And instead of like excusing yourself like any other normal person would, or even just being like, I am not here for this, you just leave, because like two $6 White Russians aren't going to justify having to sit in a place for fucking 4 hours and just be so uncomfortable the whole time.
Well,
You know, it's coming back to me. The rationale, though, was
it's coming back.
I was thinking,
It's flooding back now.
listen, DC is a big area. It's a popular area. If this email
I'd love
went
to
out
go,
to if this email went out to everyone in the area, as
Hmm.
far as like Maryland, like the entire DMV, to people that have broken the $25 threshold, surely there's at least a couple interesting people here.
Oh,
we
we were trying to root them out.
Yeah. So we were like,
Right.
well, you know, we drove a long way. Like let's just watch our fucking
Yeah,
mouths.
how long of a drive was it?
It was over an hour. Yeah.
So it's a long drive.
And it was, you know, it was rainy and stuff.
It was over an hour, so it wasn't even like 2 hours. It was like, oh, it's like an hour and some change.
Okay, once again, I
We
still,
drove forever.
we had
Falling asleep at the
blocked
wheel.
out, we blocked out the day. We assumed that interesting people could be found.
Yeah, we're trying to root it out. Don's right.
I
We had a
think-
motive.
Make
I
the
think
best
that
of it.
I think that I would have loved to be there. Even if you had those weird people and stuff like that, or people that you don't agree with and stuff, you're probably right. There probably was some weird people and stuff. But I mean,
Hey, nobody's calling him weird, Hunter. You're calling him
Yeah,
weird.
why are you being all weird?
Hey, I am
transphobic
simply
about this?
asserting that person tends to not like our kind of comedy. I'm not making any judgment on them. You're calling them weird. What are you doing?
I think that
What are you
weird in general, of you're looking at them and you have to run to a bathroom after two White Russians and regroup through text and not talk to your partner face to face. So you're sitting
but
in
that's-
Hunter,
stalls.
these
That
people
wasn't
literally
because-
said
that's
they're
not
here to
because
destroy
they
the
were
cis. That's
weird.
me. White. That's me. Patriarchy. That's me. You think we're not justified being scared in this environment?
and they also
No.
didn't like us saying retard.
not. And they didn't like us saying retard too.
And this brings me back to a story very similar. And see, I think that now I can handle myself better because something similar happened to me, but in a lower setting. It was at a house party. I went with a mutual friend of mine to this house party, one of my first like liberal arts school house parties. So, and coming from a redneck white town, I did say stuff like fag and, you know, rape. I made like rape jokes and whatever. Because when you sit
you
there and you
sound
say
hilarious.
things, you're like, oh, fuck, yeah, that
I would
sucked.
hang
That was
out
like
with you.
rape.
Yeah, all that,
You know,
all that
it's-
stuff sounds really funny. For
I would
sure.
hang out with you.
I would also hang out with you.
Oh, that guy's awesome. You hear him? He said rape.
Yeah, exactly.
You like come up and hug me. You like come up and hug me. And you're like, dude, thank you so much for being here.
oh, we fucked this fucking.
Well, that's a quick sidebar from your story. That's kind of what happened at the Flopcom thing. We met one guy.
We found one dude who was awesome. He
and we
had
were
one
talking,
arm.
and he only had one arm, and he was like a painter guy, and he made really cool art. And we asked him like how his Flopcom thing was.
He was like,
doing.
"These guys here are fucking losers, dude. I don't know about this crowd." And we were like, "Go on. What about this crowd is it?" And he was like, "Dude, I'm a fucking." He didn't even.
I love capitalism.
The thing is, he didn't realize like the waters he was swimming in. Honestly, because he was like, "Yeah, I don't know. It's all right. I'm not really enjoying myself." But man, I love fucking Flomcom, man. It's money in my bank every month. I'm a fucking ultra capitalist dude. I love money. He was
he's just saying this out loud.
and we were just like, shut the fuck up, man. Shut up. We're gonna get gulagged, you fucking idiot.
Oh, but so at this party, I show up at this party and we're just hanging out and I'm just being sociable. I mean, I don't give a fuck who you're. I mean, if I'm drinking and stuff like that, I'm looking to socialize. I just want to chat with people and stuff. And they're out in the front yard. And we were just hanging out in the front yard having drinks and stuff. And all of a sudden, I think I said something like, we were talking about work or something. They're like, oh yeah, I hate my job. And I was like, yeah, fuck. I'm like, my manager, I think I like just got done with like probably like a 40-hour shift or something like that. And I'm in college. So I'm just like, you know, my manager really bit me over and just fucking gave me a good one, just gave me a good raping or whatever. Something like that. Where whenever you're like 18 or 19, you're like, oh,
Or 27.
whatever. Yeah. Whenever I'm 34 and I'm like hanging out at these like kid parties. No, but I remember they were like, rape is not funny. And I was like, I don't know. I'm just like joking around. You know, like that's what I said. Like, I'm just joking, you know. And they're like, yeah, but rape is never funny. And I was like, and I just said, God damn. I was like, God damn. And I was like, well, there it is. And like, it was like really uncomfortable. And I went over to my friend.
Well, there it is. I'll be on my way.
And I did. I was like, well, all right. And I was like, God damn. And I like walked off and I went
I'm
to my
getting out
friend.
of here.
I went to my friend and I was like, hey, I think I just really fucking bit the bullet over there type deal. And she was like, yeah, why did you say that? And I was like, fuck, I don't know. I'm just hanging out and talking. And it's like, I think those small experiences on a very minuscule level prep you for those things later on. So whenever you do see the he, her, or the he, his, or she, her type thing, I think that you see those things, you're like, well, hey, probably not going to say rape or retard or something like that. That can check that off and stuff. And like,
Yeah,
like
okay, let them cow you, Hunter. I'm going to say rape and retard till I fucking die.
I'd rather just have an enjoyable experience with people.
No.
You
Enjoyment to
coward.
me is saying retard.
If a guy was sitting there and I had some free Jack and Cokes, especially if it's a fucking open bar, and an old boy coming to me, he's like, I'm a vegan warrior. I'd be like, what kind of battle axe do you use? Probably what I'd say type deal. I'm like, let the good times roll type deal.
Yeah, I'm
like,
sure that would have been received perfectly fine.
If a guy came, he's like, I'm a vegan warrior. I'd be like, hey, whoa, what kind of battle axe are you using? I bet it would start a good conversation.
He would
Be
hear
like, hey,
your
buddy, I'm
fucking
on even
accent.
ground with you.
Yeah, I hear your accent. It's true.
Right?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah, you're already dead. You're already shot.
Yeah, you've got no tactics.
Lined up.
You don't go to the bathroom to regroup like a rational man.
To the bathroom. Hunter, come on.
Well, we both agreed to do that. Like, well, you know, actually, no, what it was Tom, you left me alone in enemy territory, and I like.
Where's Tom?
We needed a unified front. I had to retreat and regroup with the team, rendezvous, and then you know we both didn't we also stagger coming back out? Like, okay, you go out and I'll wait like 40 seconds. So.
These, you know,
Because there was like these stairs in plain view of everybody. So like a couple girls.
There's gonna be
And I
suspicious
can
if we come out
totally-
at the same time.
I can
gonna
totally
know we're-
respect. I can totally respect that too, because I can think of like people being like, "What's the most efficient way of getting out of here alive?" Like, absolutely. Like, I feel like I've done shit like that before too. I just wish I could relate on a bigger level, because you guys have been doing this for a while, so you've had like conventions and these kind of stuff, and like, I'm still like, and all these stuff that like I could have had stories probably from this year. But with COVID and stuff, I just, all the fucking things I was going to go to went out the fucking window, you know?
At least you can hear our fucking tales to make sure you don't do what we did. Our cautionary tales.
I think just out of my social skills, I think I would probably be okay.
No, without these cautionary, without us blazing a trail
Because-
for you, Hunter. Surely danger lies ahead.
Because if somebody came up and they're just like, all right, so is it she, her, or he, him, or whatever? I feel like if I was in a group, I'd be like, hey, he, him. And I feel like if it was you and Don, they'd give you that deal. And I feel like all the blood would go to your face and you'd be like, we need a plan type deal. We're in enemy grounds.
Hey, we've stepped on a fucking mine or two so that you don't have to, buddy. Maybe you should be appreciative of that.
That's your own fault. I would ballet through
Okay,
that shit because
victim blaming,
I would
that's
see
fine.
the open bar and I'd be like, I'll do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to be here. I'm here for the long haul type deal.
Oh man, yeah, and there was these two women that came up, and their like whole plan was they were
pitching their podcast in real time to all the other
No,
podcasts. So they would
no.
join the group.
I don't
and
give
then
a
just
fuck
do
who
their
you
little,
are.
like,
Don't do
back
that
and forth
shit.
routine.
They were like, yeah, we want to, what was it they wanted to be? Like the dykiest podcast on the internet. Their words, not mine.
Yeah, I no matter who you are, don't do that shit when you're pitching stuff to people. Like, don't fucking go and be like, yeah, like, do you like lesbians? And you're like, I mean, yeah, don't really have any corn. Like, oh, well,
Dude,
we're
I
the biggest
fucking love
lesbians of
lesbians.
all.
Dude,
type deal.
it was worse. They had like a fake little planned conversation. Like one of them.
Oh.
Yeah, I was with a husband. I had a
Oh,
husband.
yeah,
and I had
one
like,
was a
I had
Christian
like
for
7
30
kids,
years.
and I was a Christian, and the other one was like, "Wow, that must have been awful."
And then I found Muff, and my whole life changed. You all relate to that.
Oh.
and the other woman's like hype manning her, like, "Yeah, wow,
like,
that must
yeah.
have been awful. Wow, like they just met."
Especially when you know it's scripted. It's hard to
Yeah.
be like, I feel like especially if I was drunk enough, I feel like I'd be like, did you write this out? Is this like a scripted thing? Is the podcast scripted? Like,
Hunter,
is this
here's
what I'm
the deal,
expecting?
man. We are going to go somewhere together, and you're going to think you're going to be all high and mighty, but then you're going to drink a few drinks, and we're going to fucking bring you into our energy field, and you're going to catch the autism.
I
And you're
bet
going to hang
you-
out with us enough.
You're gonna sit there and you're gonna be like, why are you like? You'll be like, how does he do it? That's what they'll say. Oh my God, how does he just conversate with every single person? Now he's talking to the bus boy. I'm over there and I'm like, you know, if it was me,
Shine
man,
my
I would have
fucking
gotten
shoes.
recyclables.
That's what you'd be like. Shine my shoes, boy. Because when
Yeah,
you,
like,
I've heard
hey,
you, when you drink,
hey, boy.
you get fucking southern. You're like, hey, boy.
Hey boy, get over here and wash these shoes. Come on then, get on down.
We're gonna
there.
have to fucking drag you out of the place, autistically as
go.
we do. Yeah, you think it'd be so great.
Our God is an awesome God. He like dragging me out as I'm like chanting gospel songs. He's my rock. He's my sword, my shield. Yeah,
That's
maybe.
fucking right. Yeah, so
I do wonder how long it's going to be before we can start doing like if you know I really want to do these conventions and stuff. I do like conversating with people and I want to meet fans so bad. I want the ego stroke so bad. I love your stuff. Give
you
it
told
to
us
me.
last time that you
Oh,
were worried it'd be
They
like...
quote what I do.
yeah,
give
he's
it to
walking
me.
that back right now. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, you said you were like super worried
he's
about...
retconning his previous comments.
Yeah, you saw some comments in the YouTube section saying like, Hunter doesn't sound like a very cool, approachable guy like Tom and Don.
He doesn't seem nice.
Yeah, and now you're like,
he's gonna
"I
make
just
fun of me for my what was the
chocolate chips on pizza or ice cream.
Yeah, unapproachable.
No, I think what I was saying is if somebody came up to me and if it was like I mean it would be whatever, I'd play it off, but it would be worrisome if it was just tons of like a panel, right? If it was a panel and somebody's like, "Oh, they said something stupid," I feel like I would come off as a prick, being like I don't know, man, or something like that, or like just like I just don't conversate well with like stupid comments or something. I feel like that would be
Now
my
you're calling
the
comments
fault.
Stupid.
Versus if like I was on a floor or something like that, and some guy's like, "Oh, are you meat candy?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I am," and they said something that would be awesome. But like I think broader stuff that would be kind of weird. But I would still do it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
I don't know.
So you would want to get like a booth at at the thing. You wouldn't want to do a panel. You'd want like a booth in the expo.
I would do a panel. Yeah, I don't know if I'd really. Well, I mean, if I was selling merch, I guess I would do a booth totally, and I would like if people came up and whatever. I would, yeah.
You'd, like sign their shirts.
Also, it'd be
or
kind of
whatever.
cool. Be kind of cool being in a booth, getting to see like an artist alley and shit. I kind of dig that stuff. I'd like to see
Yeah.
what people are up to. I kind of dig it. A lot of it is a lot of shitty stuff of people like shilling a bunch of terrible shit, but you can probably meet some cool people.
Hmm.
We
And now,
we do meet cool people at the conventions, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna miss
Yeah.
the most. Now that we're not getting invited back to any of them ever again.
Well, yeah, you certainly struck PAX East and RTX off of our agenda, so don't know
I
what's
want
left.
to. I definitely want to go to VidCon when I can, if it ever does it again, just to meet other YouTubers and stuff too in real life. I think it'd be really fun. It gives people an excuse to like meet each other.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Which
mean-
YouTuber would you fucking run up to with glee in your eye first and accost them?
Probably Max. If I ever met Max in real life, I would run up to him.
Max,
I'd be
who?
really.
Well, that doesn't count.
Muffo.
You know each other. Which
Yeah,
person
it
would you
needs to
make
be
an ass
someone
of
like-
yourself?
Well,
in
I don't
front
know.
of?
I mean, I don't really think I have like a. I mean, if anything, if I was like, oh my god, it would probably be some like the cringy people I watch or whatever.
Oh my
Right?
god, Tom Ska, you're here.
I would be so happy to meet Tom Scott. Tom, you do make cringy stuff, but I love you. But if I like, I don't know, like
That's how you
Uncle
should lead.
Adams or like these infamous kind of like cringe guys, I would be like, oh my, I would actually be stoked to see them in real life. Or like just some like other kind of like the Canadian guy that does like the Axe reviews and stuff. I would be like,
Axe man,
oh dude,
yeah.
I'm like I love your like. It would be more of like I never thought that I'd meet you, but I feel like I would be more so stoked. Just like I would be expecting to meet like people that I've interacted with and like actually get to like shake their hand and shit or like have some drinks with them or something. Like that would be really fun. That'd be like the best thing. And then there's just the perk of people like you have your name tag and stuff, and then people like viewers can come up to you and be like, "Oh, I love your stuff."
That
And you
has
can, like, take
never-
pictures and stuff.
Ever been a positive experience for us.
Oh, really?
Once.
Mm.
Oh, Flash Gits. What do you make? Oh, have you heard of Racist Mario? Oh. Literally multiple occasions.
Well, if somebody
Well,
if somebody came up to me,
I need to plant the flag though. The delineation you're making is like
people that don't know your content.
other influencers that don't know our content. I mean, we've had people recognize us and come up, and that's always been cool generally.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, it sounded like you were saying like every time
people,
a fan has come up to us.
no. If I had somebody come up to me and they were like, "What do you do?" I would just lie because I'm not gonna like sit there and tell you like, "Oh, this is what I do. Do you like my stuff?" Like I would be like, "I'm a Lego channel. I like to review Legos." That's what I
You get
do.
sucked into that.
Yeah, some guy's like, "I love Legos too," and I'm like, "Oh fuck." Well, I don't really know a lot about Legos, but I do like them. No, I meant like if like a view, because like the thing about VidCon is like it's creators and the viewers type deal. It's like just a convention thing, unless like YouTube themselves, or unless they like invite some. Like if you have like 20+ million people,
You're
usually
never
they'll
worried
invite
about
you.
getting like stabbed to death.
Yeah, like
No,
you're
not
not gonna
at
have
all.
like
Just us,
PewDiePie walking around with the throngs.
Well, I don't think
of
PewDiePie would
animals.
just be walking around. He's too infamous. I'm talking about us low-level scrubs that still have like fans.
Hey,
on
Hey,
their-
hey.
don't say that.
Don't disparage our careers.
You know, well, see, also, this is another thing, too. I think you guys go to all these things because you want to feel like the celebrities. Like some guys, like, oh my God, oh, there they are. And they're just like, you guys like
Happened
walk
many
into like a
times, my
slow,
friend.
a slow round of applause. And you guys are just like, you know, you guys are doing like that, yeah, we did it type deal.
Why would I really want to go there? To meet fucking idiots like you? No.
Yeah,
I don't think so,
That's,
sir.
that's what I would.
I want
That's
the
what I would.
praise and the massages and all the good shit.
It's a
I mean, I
balance
do
though.
too.
Like, I've heard
It's-
of people.
it's a great
there's
ego
there's
stroke.
guys that don't go anymore at all because they're like too recognizable. You know,
Yeah,
like
well,
John
I mean-
Tron just gets thronged, so he doesn't ever appear anymore because he can't like actually see anything because he just gets like mobbed. You know. So yeah, you need like
that
a
would be a
balance
terrible
of ego
experience.
stroking.
But for us, I feel like it'd be enjoyable because not a lot of people even know what we look like. But then if somebody walks by, they're like, "Oh, Flash Gits," be like, "Dude, I love your guys' shit and stuff." That would be an awesome thing, and it would be, and like you kind of have the perk. Like I think that's kind of like a perk of being a no face kind of person. You know what I mean? Like I think that's certainly a thing if you get to enjoy that kind of stuff. Like that was one thing that was kind of funny with even like iDubbbz and Max Mofo back in the day is. Well, I mean, Max has always been like really like, you know, people always come up to him, but like iDubbbz going up to like Rice Gum and shit years before he makes videos about him, or like there's like you can kind of fuck around, or like How To Basic going up to other celebrities, but nobody knows what How To Basic looks like. So then he's like, "Oh yeah, what do you think about How To Basic?" And they're just like, "Oh, I love him." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool, yeah, he's my favorite," or something like that. It's like a stupid thing, but it's kind of endearing.
2 hours.
I think it's about time. I mean, it's 11:45. I should probably get on my call and shit.
How do you want to wrap it up? I think we shouldn't just do the like we laugh and it fades out. Why
Let's
don't
all
we-
laugh on 3.
No.
Wait. Just laugh on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't know. That is crazy. Well, guys, what another exciting episode of Cream Crew Podcast. I mean, we learned a lot. We talked. We found out about Don's paranoia. We found out about Tom's narcissism, but what else is new? Hunter, Meat Canyon, perfect as always. Don't have a complaint on him. And I think, we're excited to record next week. We'll talk to you guys later. Is that a good outro?
Yeah, let's
Is that
just
a
go with
acceptable
that.
outro?
Let's go with that.